Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning. It is January 25th at a little after 9 a.m. and we will begin the Transportation and Commerce Committee meeting. It will now be called to order. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Alderman Vaccaro.
Present.
Alderwoman Middlebrook. Alderman Narayan. Alderwoman Evans.
Here. Narayan's here.
All right. Alderwoman Evans. Alderwoman Schweitzer.
Present.
Alderman Grass.
Here.
Alderman Lappy.
Here.
Okay. Chair Cohn.
Present.
Alderwoman Middlebrook.
Present.
Alderwoman Evans. We have 7 present. We have a quorum.
Thank you. With that, we have approval of the meeting minutes from our Tuesday, December 6th, 2022 meeting. I'll entertain a motion on that.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by the Alderman of the 23rd Ward that we approve the meeting minutes from Tuesday, December 6th. It was seconded, I believe, by the Alderwoman from the 13th Ward.
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Alderman Vaccaro.
Aye.
Alderwoman Middlebrook.
Aye.
Alderman Narayan.
Aye.
Alderwoman Evans. Alderwoman Schweitzer.
Aye.
Alderman Grass.
Aye.
Alderman Lappy.
Aye.
Chair Cohn.
Present, or aye.
Alderwoman Evans. We have 7 aye votes.
With that, you sustain the motion to approve the meeting minutes from our previous meeting. We only have 2 items on the agenda this morning. Both of them are related to the airport. We have Board Bill number 160 and Board Bill number 161. I don't believe the airport director is able to join us this morning. I think she's on a business trip in Washington, D.C. today. But I know we have some staff from the airport. We will take up item number 1 on the agenda, which is Board Bill number 160.
Good afternoon, Alderman. Good morning, Alderman, Alderwomen. We're requesting your approval today for the 8th Amended and Restated Food and Beverage Concession Agreement with Host
Hey, Rob.
I'm sorry, Robert Solerano from the airport.
Thank you.
They need to be, will you be swearing them in this morning?
We don't, at least not in this committee, I don't swear in city employees because they already swear when they accept a job with the city to adhere to fiduciary responsibilities and all that. So, but thank you, Rob, for introducing yourself.
Sorry, I was ready to roll. This morning, we're requesting board approval of the 8th Amended and Restated Food and Beverage Concession Agreement with Host International. This agreement will supersede and replace the current food and beverage concession with Host, which is set to expire December 2023. This amended agreement is set to begin March 1st, 2023, and it changes the current agreement by extending the term of the agreement 7 years to February 28th, 2031. It adds new capital investment requirement of $7 million that will be used to add new concepts and refresh existing units. The Host minimum annual guarantee remains at $4.7 million, and the percentage fee structure for the contract payment is unchanged. ACDBE goal for the current contract is 40%. The current Host ACDBE participation level is at 37.38%. Host achieves their participation through a joint venture with D&D Concessions. Mr. Daryl Jones is the principal of D&D Concessions, and a subcontract with OHM Concession Group LLC, and Mr. Milan Patel is their principal. The airport requests the extension for 2 reasons. One, in light of the recent COVID-19 pandemic and its impact really on the substantial capital investment that Host and its business partners had just completed. They spent approximately $5 million on refurbishing and putting new units in. And the day they opened their flagship new unit, it was the day the NHL and everybody shut down, and we went right into the pandemic. And that has greatly impacted the capital investment. We also are limited by the ongoing terminal development discussions for term. We are looking at this is a 7-year contract term, and given the discussion of the terminal development, that's really the most we can do. That's the furthest out we can go on a contract. In a lot of contracts now, when we bid out a program like this, we would probably be looking at a concessionaire to come in, probably about a 15-year contract. And to get the investment that's required across 31 units that Host operates, the time to make that capital back does not exist in a 7-year, 8-year contract. We did, however, negotiate an amortization schedule that includes a 10% buyback discount on their capital investment if we cancel this agreement early, if we decide and elect not to go forward with a new terminal. Host will rebuild the Terminal 2 food court. It's a replacement of Burger King and California Pizza Kitchen with a Shake Shack, a Pickup Sticks Asian concept, and a badly needed Starbucks unit expansion in Terminal 2. It will also replace the Chili's restaurant on Concourse C. We're working on them for a concept on that, and we should be able to finalize the concept within the next 2 months. We'll also install a new Annie Ann's Pretzels to replace the Jamba Juice concept on Concourse C and replace the C17 Starbucks unit with a local coffee outlet. We respectfully request your approval of this 8th Amended and Restated Concession Agreement with Host International.
Rob, I think you've muted yourself.
I don't show as muted, sir. Can anybody hear me?
We can hear you.
I can hear him.
Yeah, I can hear you fine, Rob.
I saw your lips moving after you said that you're requesting approval. I wasn't sure if you were talking or.
Oh, no, sir, that's it.
Okay. Okay, we'll go ahead and take questions from members of the committee. Vice Chair Vaccaro.
I have none. I'm fine with this.
Alderwoman Middlebrook.
I have no questions. Thank you.
Alderman Narayan.
No questions. Thank you.
Alderwoman Evans. Alderwoman Schweitzer.
Yes, thank you so much for that. Thank you for recognizing me. What happens to the workers of the restaurants that are being changed?
Oh, they will still be employed by Host, and the Host will keep all of those employees well employed. They have about 31 units across the concourses. With all the staffing challenges going on now, especially, those employees will find employment at the other units. They'll keep them full and part-time.
That was my main concern. I would hate to see anybody's job interrupted by any of these changes. So people will immediately be moving over to other places when
yes, there will not be any job interruptions or anything like that.
Okay, fantastic. And when you were can you give me a little bit more information about? You said that this was an extended contract. How often are these contracts negotiated? I wasn't here for the last one.
Negotiated, generally there tend to, some units, if it's a smaller number of units, can go 10 years. Right now, the industry standard is 15 to 20 years for a large contract like this. You're going to have a large capital investment requirement, and that's on both the prime Host and their local business partners, the ACDBEs that I mentioned. If their participation right now is at about almost 39%, that means they put in 39% of the capital. So that's really where the industry's coming out now.
And that's a standard across other airports when they do work like this.
For larger contracts, yes. Sometimes, we put out other smaller concessions, and those have been like in the 7 to 10 year, but that's just been for one unit.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Alderman Gross.
I don't have any questions at this time. Thank you.
Alderman Lappy.
No questions. Thank you.
Rob, can you, and I know this came up at the Airport Commission, and I know you touched base on it a little bit with respect to, coming out of COVID and, the airport renovations, but can you also just elaborate for the committee and for the general public who might be watching this versus watching the, Airport Commission meetings? Can you dive in a little bit more into the rationale behind why we're extending this? Because this is, an RFP, or this is a extension of an agreement that we haven't put out to RFP in quite some time. So can you just elaborate as to why that's not going out to RFP? And again, I know you and I have had this conversation. I know it came up at the Airport Commission as well, but can you just elaborate further on that for the committee and the general public that might be watching?
Right. And, one of the things that I noted before was the impact of COVID and the ability of host and their local business partners to regain and recoup their investment. Another thing, the other main concern for the airport is terminal development. We are looking at a new consolidated terminal. It's still in negotiation phase. We're working with the airlines. It's not a done deal, as they say, but it's very much in the works. And so that severely limits our ability to put out that RFP that we want to put out for a new, refreshed, completely new program. The 8-year term, that's what the host is able to invest their money because they're getting a year head start. Any contract we would put out would be approximately 7 years. And, when we start, and Jerry, Mr. Beckman can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but really the new terminal renovation or the old terminal shutdown begins with Concourse A in about 2027. So any new company coming on board will have between, approximately 2024 and 2027 to start building on Concourse A and getting units open. They won't have enough time to even really construct new units. It's just really the time frame that we're in. That's the reason.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Any other questions from members of the committee? If you could, raise your hand. Madam Clerk, was there anyone from the public that signed up to testify in favor or opposition to this board bill?
I don't see any at all. No, sir.
Okay. Are there any other Alder people that are signed into the meeting that have questions? I don't see any. All right, with that, we'll entertain a motion. I'll entertain a motion on board bill number 160.
So I will move we pass out board bill 160 with a due pass recommendation.
Second.
Previous rule.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 23rd Ward that we pass out board bill number 160 with a due pass recommendation. It was seconded by the Alderman from the 24th Ward. There's been a request for previous roll. Is there any objection to previous roll? Hearing no objection to previous roll, board bill number 160 passes out with a due pass recommendation. Next on the agenda is item number 2, even though it's not listed as such, which is board bill number 161. I believe, Antonio, are you on the line to speak to board bill 161?
I am here, but Rob will also present board bill 161.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Rob, take it away.
I'm Rob Solerano, the Airport Properties Division Manager. And we're requesting your approval today of the lease agreement with GoJet Airlines LLC. GoJet occupies space in an airport office building that's located in Bridgeton, Missouri, right near Lindbergh and Missouri Bottom Road. They use the space as corporate offices, flight planning, and training space for their employees. The rate per square foot is $8.35, and that is up from the current $8. It's a 5-year agreement beginning March 1st, 2023 and ending February 29th, 2028 with a 120-day no-fault cancellation clause. We respectfully request your approval of this lease with GoJet Airlines LLC.
Thanks, Rob. I will take questions from the committee. Alderman Vaquero,
I have no question on this.
Alderwoman Middlebrook,
I have no questions. Thank you.
Alderman Narayan,
No questions. Thank you.
Alderwoman Evans, Alderwoman Schweitzer.
Thank you so much. I see in the board bill that it goes up to $8.35 per square foot this year, and then following years, it'll continue to increase to it. Okay.
That's correct, yes.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. That's my only question.
Alderman Gross,
No questions. Thank you.
Alderman Lappy,
No questions. Thank you.
Madam Clerk, are there any people from the public who have signed up to testify in favor or opposition to this board bill?
No, sir.
Okay. Hearing no other questions, then I'll entertain a motion on board bill number 161.
I'll make a motion, we pass Board Bill 161 out with a due pass recommendation
Second.
and previous rule.
Okay, it's been moved by the Alderman of the 23rd Ward that we pass out board bill number 161 with a due pass recommendation. It's been seconded by the Alderwoman from the 2nd Ward. There's been a request for previous roll. Is there any objection to previous roll? Hearing no objection to previous roll, board bill number 161 passes out with a due pass recommendation. That is all of the items on our agenda for today. We don't have any resolutions or further committee discussions at this juncture. I don't have any announcements aside from I know that there are some other items pending that were passed out of the Airport Commission. I'm not sure whether or not we're going to be able to hear those before the end of this session, given that we didn't extend the date of resolution for board bills. So working with the President's office and the airport director on that, but at least for the time being, there is not a future date set for any additional Transportation and Commerce Committee meetings. But I will keep the members of the committee posted of any developments on that front. So I believe the Alderwoman from the 4th Ward needs to be excused, Madam Clerk.
Yes. Noted.
Thank you. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. We stand adjourned. Thank
Thank
you
you,
all
everyone.
for your participation this morning.